Dean Mather, glad we were able to get together today to chat about Bucknell's College of Engineering. I'm Doug Bogan, class of 2013, electrical engineering and music grad. And today I'm representing the Bucknell University Alumni Association Board of Directors. As a board, we're very fortunate to be able to return to campus 3 times a year and to have the opportunity to speak directly with university leaders like yourself for firsthand university updates. So I'm excited to be speaking with you today. So first off, congratulations on celebrating the 125th anniversary of engineering education at Bucknell. That's a whole lot of years. How did the university commemorate that occasion?
Well, at Bucknell University, engineering clearly has been part of the DNA for quite a while. The 125-year part is actually the first course in engineering was taught out of the math department, sort of a civil engineering surveying course. And the history has evolved ever since. To celebrate it, we took the things we normally do each year and cranked them up to both a celebration of honoring our history, but also a way to look toward the future. And so 2 of the major things we did included our homecoming that was expanded to probably a tripling or quadrupling of attendance for our events, and it culminated in a day that it celebrated our research, a lot of our applied engineering activities, and then a celebratory dinner with a DJ and a lot of dancing. And one of the cool things about that event was that all of the past that were able to attend, all the past presidents of BUAA, the Bucknell Engineering Alumni Association, they were able to attend and they were honored, as well as several past deans of engineering, my predecessors, who I've become friends with over the past few years. So we honored them. And then lots of things throughout the year. Coming up in February, our other pillar kind of event for the celebration is Engineering Week, that you probably remember, E-Week.
E-Week, yep.
That's, again, being amped up to a particularly expanded form. And our Associate Dean, Terry Norton, Associate Dean for Students, has a big event on Saturday called LEAD, and there's leadership kinds of events happening that morning. And then the classic things that we do in E-Week, where individual departments, the student body celebrates and competes in a friendly way. And we have fantastic speakers. All, what E-Week is about is outreach to let the community and the broader region know about how awesome engineering is. And we're very proud of that, and that's one thing we're doing. There was a third thing we did that happened last summer, actually, and you might have seen it in the Bucknell magazine. There was a special insert about our celebration of 125 years. And it is a real nice mapping out of the milestones we've achieved that are particularly, Bucknellian in how we do things. So if you haven't read that, you can go back to the summer issue and have a look.
Nice. Have you gotten, just following up to that, have you gotten any sort of alumni community response to those initiatives? Have people been really fired up about that as engineering alums?
Absolutely, yeah. I've noticed a huge uptick in participation in BEAA kinds of things, the Alumni Association. I just this year started, I might talk about it later, Dean's Advisory Council. Members of that came out of these activities this year, and we're always fortunate to have excellent support with annual giving throughout the year, and we've also seen some great benefits this year in terms of giving from our alumni towards the awesome initiatives that we do that were highlighted in that magazine, for example.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So kind of speaking to those points, obviously Bucknell Engineering has been changing a lot over 125 years or even the past few decades. Yeah. During your time here, even a little bit prior to then, what are some of the changes that have occurred recently, either curriculum or the department and the college in general, and kind of what do you see on the horizon in terms of changes?
Sure. Great question. First of all, this is my 3rd year. So I came in the summer of 2016. So almost everything is new and changing. So, and it's been a huge, enjoyable ride. I'd like to say that, it's all about the people. And so during my first 6 months, it was just getting to know faculty and students, one-on-one conversations, small groups. And as I did that, I got to learn just what the community is all about. And in a nutshell, it's about passion for engineering education. The faculty are extremely passionate about what they do. Now, with that level setting of the community, the changes that I've been able to experience and witness, and in some cases help initiate, are manifold. One of the biggies is Academic East that you've probably heard about. It's a new building. You can't miss it at the top of the hill. That is going to be transformative for our college, and it already is. The purpose of its existence is to help out engineering and the Department of Education, which impacts all of arts and sciences, to create new spaces. For engineering, those spaces are for what I would like to call learning by doing. So, not just your classic classroom experience, but a lot of laboratory experience. So, depends on how you measure it, but about a doubling of the capacity for hands-on, bench-level research is going to be possible. So that has set into motion a lot of really creative, really optimistic planning for how everything gets affected. Because as operations and research and laboratories and classrooms moved in part to Academic East, that transforms Dana and Brake Iron in really positive ways. It's challenging, but it's also been really exciting. Other changes that I've observed have been an exciting uptick in corporate sponsored projects in the college. We're lucky to have Shane Cohen, he's a staff member in our college, who's an alum, mechanical engineering and art actually, who is really connected to companies that might or might not have alumni in them, that are just really excited about connecting with undergraduates to work on projects that are really important to their businesses. I can't go into details about exact projects because lots of them are proprietary, but the students get super pumped to be working on projects that are going to make a difference. And it's growing and growing. So I see that as we go down into the future as not just being senior design projects, but permeating the whole curriculum so that students, even coming in as first-year students, see the value of engineering education. Not just the trajectory for their career, but immediately, wow, I can do something that people care about. I've also seen an uptick from the students of great interest in service learning and civic engagement. And so I'm starting to see pop-up communities of students and student-initiated where their passion for making a difference is coming to light. And so we're just ready to embrace that. All student groups need sort of like a faculty advisor. Often there's resources needed. And so this heads in multiple directions, one of which is like going abroad to make a difference. We have a student group working on possibly working on bridges in another country, small communities, things like that. And finally, another one that's just has been happening based on faculty initiatives is fantastic success with external funding for their research, which is interesting because we don't have PhD students, but we have fantastic faculty, and external sponsors like National Science Foundation has been, so to speak, writing checks to support our work. So that's been really great to see.
Wow. Yeah, this really hits home for me as one who did 5 years of research here.
Yeah.
It's just such a unique opportunity within an undergrad environment to be able to do these sorts of things.
Yeah,
it's also, I think it's really interesting. It seems as if the university and the College of Engineering is thinking more towards engineers in the world and engineers as people doing engineering outside of just the classroom.
Yes.
And further integrating the business experience for students, that research concept, and being able to provide these opportunities and connect to the business world as undergrad students. So
true.
This sounds really interesting, and this actually leads into one of my other questions I had here. In a recent university update, you had mentioned the interdisciplinary push,
Yep.
or just that initiative that was unfolding, integrating the College of Engineering into the greater liberal arts framework of Bucknell. And that was one of the main reasons why I came to this school, is arts and engineering. So you said that that's going to continue to unfold. So can you speak to that a little bit more in terms of where it is now, where you see it going, and just how it's continuing to evolve?
It's a favorite topic of mine, so I'm glad you asked the question.
Nice.
Culturally, we're already there. So one of the things as I met with faculty and students when I first came to Lewisburg as Dean of Engineering is, as I met with people, they're Bucknell people. They're not just Bucknell engineering faculty. So everybody is connected to everybody already through either their personal lives, being that we're Lewisburg, you know, it's a really healthy, connected community, but also through diverse interests. I don't know a single engineering faculty member who would say, yeah, in a conversation, just engineering stuff. Many are interested in athletics, many are interested in music, like you and I are, and many have deep, close relationships with other faculty and staff at the university. At the administrative level, Raquel Alexander, Dean of the Freeman College of Management, and Carl Voss, Dean of Arts and Sciences, and we are really well connected. And that doesn't always happen at a university, that you find administrators that actually like to spend time together. Somehow, that worked out. And so when we get together, first of all, it's just a positive atmosphere, a creative atmosphere, and we enjoy, as like a hobby or a habit, brainstorming how we can do things together. Cool. It's not, you know, on one hand, we need to do it. It's the right thing to do for a university of our size and our nature to do things at the interface. Logically, it's there. But it's also in our hearts that that's what we want to do, because we do it when we're not told to do it. So that's all to say we're culturally there. The challenge, but a challenge we can meet, is how do you actually do that? What's it look like to do things at the intersections? And so there's multifaceted things that are going on. I'll give one example. Recently there was a learning community, faculty-led but staff-engaged and student-involved, on the topic of data. You know, data is everywhere. You know, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data, savvy student development. And so they studied this. You know, do we come at it from sort of interstitial space, extracurricular kinds of things? Do we develop a minor, a major, a master's, all these kinds of things? And that's really interesting work. What is the right strategy for us to do something that automatically requires the whole university? Data's there, actually, because it falls into public perceptions of political events. It falls into what's the future of engineers and how they interact with technology. For example, are we still going to be solving differential equations to design a part, or are we going to mine data in our space to find solutions? And it's interesting stuff, right? And so that's just one example. Engineering in particular, and management is following, is also pursuing this kind of thing, is what can the College of Engineering contribute to all Bucknell students? And in terms of their learning. A classic example that pops up as we brainstorm on that is the notion of design thinking. You might be familiar with this kind of thing.
Very familiar.
Its origins are in the Bay Area, about IDEO kinds of ideation strategies. That comes natural to engineers. It's what we do, and it's what we can deliver. So that already a student-led initiative from engineering has participated in orientation for first years coming in, a little design thinking workshop. One small example, very successful. Could we do something for like a May plan, a Jan plan kind of thing, interstitially, or do we try to develop minors in this space, for example? The challenge, and I'll just tell you how this comes about as a former engineering major, very prescribed curricula. So it's there aren't that many electives that you can take. That's the student experience. On the faculty side, we're full out. Everybody's really busy teaching the classes to help our students, let's say in mechanical or chemical engineering, get the knowledge and the know-how to be effective when their students graduate. So that's sort of the design constraint, and so that's what we work on is, well, can we be more efficient curricularly so that we can free up some space on faculty time, student time, so that we can have the space in the curriculum to do some interesting things. I would love to be in a place, and this is possibly where we're headed, got to work on it, where there are courses that engineering offers, maybe an ENGR course that has no prerequisites, but helps students come in and experience our world and the way our mindsets. A recent class did happen. You might have seen it on Facebook. Tim Raymond, the chair of chemical engineering, did a material science class that's material science for non-majors. And if you watch the videos, I encourage you to check them out. Students crushing things, breaking them, just figuring out like what does it mean to work in this world? Not necessarily to become a material scientist, but to just understand the ways in which we approach the world. I'd love to have more of those, but it's tough, and it's something we're working on.
Yeah. It seems as if Bucknell faculty leadership within the College of Engineering is thinking more in terms of a global career where technology, where the sciences in general are leading.
Yes.
And where they're tending, and then seeing if there's a way to integrate that into the fabric of the existing curricula, all while maintaining that accreditation.
Yeah.
That's a tall order. And I guess a question would be, to what extent do you find that there is enough or is not enough flexibility in the existing curriculum? Is there that wiggle room to be able to integrate it into all of those core classes?
There's wiggle room. I think, fortunately, as part of our accreditation process, which you're alluding to, we always seek to continuously improve. So there's a natural, we call it closing the loop. There's a natural continuous improvement cycle that we do. And so faculty in the different programs get together periodically, a couple times a year, to look at, well, at the course level, was that course successful in reaching the learning objectives? But at the broader scale, at the curriculum level, are we achieving the desired outcomes? That tends to happen at the department or program level. For example, electrical and computer engineering, to their credit, took a deep dive to see there are too many prerequisites, for example, for a student to get through multiple pathways. And they changed things quite a lot. And it actually, as a consequence, did lead to more electives possible in that particular program. We haven't done a lot at the next level for the whole college of that sort of thing. There's a study on curricular efficiency going on right now. It's difficult work, it's important work, but it is part of our ecosystem of continuous improvement. So we're working on it. Yeah.
Cool. And that leads right into my next question. In your opinion, given all of this going on, what do you view as Bucknell Engineering's 3 strongest attributes?
Sure.
And where do you see the greatest room for growth?
Sure. It's hard to come up with just 3 best attributes,
That is
but
a
I'll
challenge,
do it.
yeah.
I'll start with how I began, which is our faculty. I would say the essence of our strength, which is reflected in our reputation, is our faculty are passionate, they're smart, and they're working on the right problems. That permeates the classroom or the student experience. You can't help but witness the inspiration of the faculty. So if I had to pick one, it would be that. But fortunately, I could pick 3. Another one is just Bucknell's commitment to engineering. We've been at this for 125 years. It's in the DNA. And that the benefit and why that's a strength is that it's so well supported. And your experience was probably, I gather, very positive. Laboratories are fantastic. In fact, you get the chance to do research directly with a faculty member. Why is that possible? It's our student-to-faculty ratio, 10 to 1. You would not be able to do it without that. So that's because of the university commitment. And the staff is fantastic. that's part of the university commitment. For example, we have lab directors in every program. We have computing support that has 3 members. We have an incredible machine shop and maker spaces. That's all university commitment. I shouldn't limit it to university and alumni commitment, because we really do benefit from the engineering fund. We benefit from professorships, from leadership gifts from our donors. So that's just, I guess I would say, overall system support for this, what I think is a gem at the university. We have other gems, but I'm really proud of ours. And then I would say that's sort of the structure, the faculty, the laboratories and all that, but the fuel is the students that makes this engine run. Obviously we exist because of the students, but furthermore, students come in bright-eyed, purpose-driven, full of energy, and then they actually learn by doing. So it's part of the growth of our acquiring, discovering new knowledge, applying knowledge. Just this whole system of intellectually stimulated endeavor. Students are right there with it. I'll just say, in my research group, fortunately, the provost and the president allow me to spend 10% of my time doing research with students. I have a group of about 7 students, and every week we have group meeting, and I come out of that meeting on fire, and I think so do they, with all the ideas. And they go off to the lab. Doesn't all work, right? The things break. The ideas might be flawed, et cetera, but it's just part of the joy of doing intellectually stimulating things together and learning from each other. I was speaking with a first-year student who's considering joining my group recently. She's a biomedical engineer. And I said, the reason I do the job I do is because I'm still learning. And the faculty all say that. The reason they're in academia is to continuously learn. So the lifelong learning that the faculty are doing, I think the students see, and together that whole university and alumni supported, faculty excellence, student fuel makes this system I'm so excited about. Now, in terms of the growth and areas we can work on, I think we already hit on one, which is connections to other parts of the university. That's an important challenge for us. Another one we're working on, we actually have a strategic plan that launched in November. It got endorsed after a couple years of sincere effort on our values. We have 4 goals. One of our goals is connections. Another one is from the point of view of admissions and recruiting the incoming students, clarifying the value and the brand of Bucknell Engineering, and making sure all the things I've been saying are what prospective students see. Because interestingly, cross applications where prospective students also apply are oftentimes universities very different than Bucknell. That might have purposefully a research mission, where ours is more of a teaching and learning mission. And so clarifying, we're a liberal arts university with excellent professional programs heavily integrated. So that sharpening our brand's a big one. And we also have significant work to do on equity and inclusion for students and faculty as sort of the makeup of the college evolves. And so that as our students go into the workforce beyond Bucknell, they're very comfortable with multicultural environments. They're very comfortable with the concept that innovation begins with diversity. All of these kinds of things we want to bake into the engineering education. There are other goals, but those are a few that we're really focused on.
So throughout all of this and all of the diverse initiatives you just mentioned, the Bucknell University Alumni Association Board is here to help. And in your opinion, how can we best support these initiatives within the College of Engineering right now? How can we help you?
With your minds and your energy, I would say. So
Okay.
I think the connections need to be there. They are. We are so proud of BUAA, which is our local alumni association. To the extent that grows and becomes not just the physical meetings, but the Zoom meetings, the phone calls, the integration through my Dean's Advisory Council, BEAA, We need a proper view, an accurate view of what what industry needs. And our alumni are fantastic, highly successful, highly impactful in their spaces, which are all over the world, really. And here's what success would look like. We're doing things that are evolving with time as our industries are evolving, not just technology industry. Our engineers go everywhere, law, public policy, you name it. But also that the students hear it firsthand. I would love to have connections that are more direct to students. With technology now, that's very possible. We can have lunchtime, panels of what's the future of data, what's the future of artificial intelligence, all those kinds of things right from the front lines. From a Bucknellian, it could be very powerful because sometimes students need to hear the reality of day in the life, for example. What's your job like? But also encouragement that if a student can see themselves in a Bucknellian that's 5, 10, 20 years out, that can be really motivating because as you know, there are late nights in Dana where you're trying to do really hard work, and motivation from an alum can really help them get over the finish line. There are many more types of things, but the connections directly with faculty, directly with students, that I'm happy to facilitate. So give me a call. Anybody listening, look me up and give me a call. I'd be happy to plug you in.
Great. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for today, Dean Mather. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure,
and
my pleasure.
We're excited to see what the next 125 years of Bucknell engineering looks like.
Cool. All right, yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks
for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you.